we are kicking things off with massive global deals. India's Tata Electronics has officially signed a landmark deal with Dutch technology giant ASML to build a major semiconductor plant right in western India. This monumental agreement, announced during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's European tour, is set to establish a cutting-edge facility in Dholra, Gujarat, with Tata planning an investment of $11 billion. We dive into how ASML's advanced lithography machines will fuel the production of chips for artificial intelligence and the automotive industry, and what this means for India's rise in the global chip manufacturing landscape. Or a potential general strike devastates the entire domestic ecosystem. They stress that Samsung's semiconductor division is a vital pillar of the Korean economy, and this moment, amid the world's largest AI investments, demands immediate cooperation to secure advanced technologies. Finally, we turn to the specialized backbone of this entire industry. Entegris Inc. shares are showing volatile trading as the broader semiconductor equipment space fluctuates, but the company remains positioned as a critical supplier of high-purity materials and subsystems. We examine how Entegris is navigating this environment, focusing on its focus on contamination control and its alignment with long-term growth trends like AI and the U.S. CHIPS and Science Act, and what this means for investors looking at specialized technology exposure. India and the Netherlands are strengthening their economic and technological ties, highlighted by a significant semiconductor deal signed between India's Tata Electronics and Dutch technology giant ASML. The agreement establishes a major semiconductor plant in Dholra, Gujarat, which is Modi's home state. ASML, Europe's largest technology company, will supply the cutting-edge lithography machines necessary to establish and scale production at the facility. Tata Electronics plans a substantial investment of $11 billion in the project, with the resulting plant expected to manufacture chips crucial for artificial intelligence, the automotive industry, and other high-growth sectors. Christophe Fouquet, CEO of ASML, expressed strong confidence, noting many compelling opportunities in India's expanding semiconductor landscape, and reaffirmed the company's commitment to long-term partnerships in the region. This strategic move aligns with India's broader objective of attracting foreign technology and investment to bolster domestic manufacturing and job creation. The deal occurs during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent European tour, where he held extensive discussions with Dutch Prime Minister Rob Jetten and met King Willem-Alexander. During these talks, Modi emphasized cooperation in defense and security, discussing an action plan for the defense industry, as well as collaboration in space travel, maritime systems, and maritime security. Additionally, discussions included exploring a more flexible visa arrangement for Indian students and workers in the Netherlands. Modi's upcoming trip to Sweden will focus on trade, innovation, and green technology cooperation, underscoring the deepening strategic relationship between New Delhi and key European nations. Concerns are mounting over a proposed government ban on new semiconductor chip clusters in the capital area, potentially jeopardizing a major project underway in Yongin, Gyeonggi Province. Construction is actively progressing on a semiconductor cluster in Yongin, backed by a substantial combined investment of 1,000 trillion won, or approximately $670 billion, from industry giants Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix. The government is reportedly preparing to announce the enforcement decree for the Special Act on Strengthening Competitiveness and Supporting the Semiconductor Industry later this month. This decree is set to stipulate that semiconductor industrial complexes located in Seoul, Incheon, and Gyeonggi Province will be ineligible to be designated as chip clusters for state support concerning essential infrastructure like electricity, water, and roads. This move fuels suspicions that the government intends to encourage partner companies within the Yongin cluster to relocate to non-capital regions. Yongin Mayor Lee Sang-il has publicly called for the withdrawal of the proposed enforcement decree, stating that it effectively mandates companies to build semiconductor fabrication plants outside the capital region to secure government support. He warned that suppliers of critical materials, parts, and equipment might choose to avoid joining the cluster if infrastructure support is threatened. The legislative groundwork for this change began with the passage of the related act in January, which mandates that designated chip clusters must meet specific, yet currently unclear, requirements detailed in the forthcoming enforcement decree. The government has cited regional depopulation as a motivation for incentivizing cluster construction in non-capital areas, and the act also directs the industry minister to consider balanced regional development. Political maneuvering is intensifying ahead of local elections. While candidates from the ruling Democratic Party of Korea have pledged support for the Yongin cluster, the government has maintained ambiguity regarding its future. Meanwhile, other regional candidates are actively campaigning to attract semiconductor plants to their areas. Industry bodies remain cautious. The Korea Semiconductor Industry Association stressed that the cluster's location should not be subject to negotiation, emphasizing the need for long-term investment and stable policy support. As of Sunday, the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Resources confirmed that no final decision has been made regarding the announcement of the enforcement decree. The Korean Society of Semiconductor Engineers has issued a stern warning to Samsung Electronics and its labor union, urging an immediate amicable settlement to avert severe damage to the domestic semiconductor industry. The society expressed deep concern following reports that wage negotiations have reached a prolonged stalemate, leading to discussions about a potential general strike. In a statement released by President Choi Kye-young on May 17, the group cautioned that further delays or production disruptions could have repercussions extending far beyond labor and management disputes, potentially impacting partner companies, the academic research community, and the development of future talent. The statement underscored the critical importance of the semiconductor sector, noting that it accounts for over 20% of national exports and supports nearly 40% of the Korean economy, positioning Samsung's semiconductor division as a vital pillar. The society highlighted the extensive ecosystem dependence, emphasizing that material, component, and equipment suppliers rely on Samsung, while professors and students are actively engaged in research and growth within the Samsung semiconductor environment. Adding urgency to the appeal, the society pointed to the current pivotal moment as the world enters a period of massive semiconductor investment driven by the artificial intelligence revolution. They stressed that this is the opportune time for all stakeholders to collaborate to secure advanced semiconductor technologies for the AI era. In conclusion, the Korean Society of Semiconductor Engineers earnestly appealed to both labor and management to fully recognize the potentially catastrophic consequences for the national economy and the entire semiconductor industry, calling for a smooth resolution of negotiations. In response, Samsung Electronics and its labor union are scheduled to hold their second post-mediation meeting at the Central Labor Relations Commission in Sejong on the morning of May 18. Entegris Inc. stock is experiencing volatile trading amidst a pullback in the semiconductor sector, although the company maintains its position as a critical supplier of high-purity materials and subsystems for chip manufacturing. As of May 16, 2026, Entegris shares closed at $139.26 USD on Nasdaq, marking a 3.99% decline for the day. The company specializes in providing high-performance materials, components, and subsystems essential for the semiconductor manufacturing value chain. Entegris's core value proposition centers on contamination control and purity management, offering filtration systems, specialty chemicals, and precision delivery hardware that are vital for meeting the stringent yield and reliability requirements of advanced process nodes. This focus positions Entegris as a critical partner, rather than just a commodity provider. Entegris is strategically aligning its portfolio with structural growth trends, including artificial intelligence, high-performance computing, automotive electronics, and 5G infrastructure. These end markets demand increasingly complex chip manufacturing processes, requiring advanced materials and subsystems that Entegris is positioned to support. The business model is diversified, driven by both initial tool installations and recurring consumption of materials. The specialty materials segment includes advanced chemistries and gases, such as high-purity sulfur dioxide used in wafer cleaning and etching. Furthermore, the contamination control portfolio, featuring filters and liquid gas handling modules, addresses key stages in fabrication. Geographically, Entegris maintains a global footprint across Asia, North America, and Europe, enabling localized supply and engineering collaboration crucial for supporting customers during the ramp-up of new process nodes. Near-term trading performance reflects broader sentiment towards semiconductor equipment suppliers. Despite the short-term dip, Entegris has maintained a consistent dividend program, paying an annual dividend of $0.4 USD per share, reflecting a conservative payout ratio of approximately 20.6% of earnings. This financial profile suggests the company retains significant capital for growth investments and strategic flexibility. Long-term revenue growth hinges on Entegris's ability to support next-generation technologies like extreme ultraviolet lithography and advanced packaging, which necessitate even tighter contamination controls and more complex material requirements. The company invests in research and development to stay ahead of evolving process demands. In the broader ecosystem, Entegris competes alongside major diversified firms in the materials and subsystems space, differentiating itself through its deep technical specialization in purity and process criticality. Its success is also influenced by global policy, particularly initiatives like the U.S. CHIPS and Science Act, which spur capital investment in domestic fabrication facilities, creating opportunities for suppliers like Entegris who provide necessary infrastructure. For U.S. investors, Entegris offers exposure to a specialized niche within the semiconductor supply chain, linked to broader infrastructure needs rather than just end product cycles. While exposed to cyclical swings in capital spending, the company's technical differentiation and strategic positioning in supporting advanced manufacturing processes remain key factors for long-term assessment.